One.
Yes, yes, Rajul sir.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people joining at the cusp of the moment.
Yeah.
We wait
Yes,
for
yes. I'm admitting them. Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I think we are live. A very good evening to one and all. This is Kavita Rajesh, President, Hyderabad Management Association. A warm welcome to everyone. And today, as we know, businesses grow, but we need to brand ourselves. So today we thought it's a very pertinent topic, new age branding, creating the face of your business. Bhavya Pathak is the young ISBN who is going to address us on how the branding aspect of a product should be done and all in detail. And to talk about Hyderabad Management Association, it's a 57-year-old organization, started with few like-minded people. It is a management professional body with contemporary management practices. We felt the need that we should have the association like this, and today we do a plethora of activities like student development programs, faculty development programs, conventions, conclave, lecture meetings, MDPs, management development programs, and also quizzes across. And we also do the business service, and also we have collaborated with the business schools for a certificate program. We are doing a IRP, industry readiness program. It's first time that it is all women, all girls program. And we have a very good response for industry readiness program to bridge the gap between the campus to corporates. And apart from that, we are also doing this thing, MSME desk. We have MSME desk connects the institutions and also even the bankers, and also disseminates information, and we connect the gap between the MSME corporates, SMEs and all, and all the various other orientation programs are done through the desk. And we also have this international desk where we help the students across. We are connected with all the institutions, help the student actors to stay connected with the international universities across there for future persuasion of studies, and also to create an opportunity for promoting business and trade through international desk through various consulates. And we have the social impact desk where we address the social problems, like our convener Kalpana Ramesh Garu, who is adopted as a government school, and we are teaching the management aspect of conservation of water to the students across, and where to conserve and how to conserve water for the future tomorrow. And this is in a nutshell about Hyderabad Management Association. And I would request our convener Rajendra Prasad Garu to please introduce the speaker, and we are waiting to hear and learn from her experiences as a young lady, so who has got a good exposure to the corporates also. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening and welcome you all for this today's evening session on webinar titled New Age Branding and Creating the Face of Your Business. And the agenda points for this particular webinar is, the first one is the design trends and opportunities, and the second one is proven tools for building a brand identity through leadership, influencer, analytic driven branding, movement branding, and third one will be CDJ centric approach, a customer experience. This is broadly 3 categories. The agenda points are there. It's about 60 minutes program, and I'm very honored and privileged to introduce our speaker Bhavyaji. Mrs. Bhavya Pathak is an enthusiastic for all things of marketing. She has a sound 5 years of experience across product marketing, digital marketing, and branding. Her streams, she has helped young tech startups bringing their brilliant ideas to market with her out-of-the-box marketing initiative that skyrocketed their sales and created a unique brand voice and advocacy. She also happens to be an avid storyteller, photographer, and traveler.
Thank you so much.
And her current role, product marketing manager, Color Tokens, and it's a Silicon Valley-based startup offering cybersecurity solutions. Apart from this, she worked as a branding and digital marketing consultant for a few other startups based in India. She has an MBA graduate from Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, with a specialization in marketing. Welcome, Bhavyaji. Mic is yours now.
Thank you so much, Rajesh sir, and thank you so much, Kavita Aunty. Your words have been very kind, and it's always great to hear great things about yourself from someone else's mouth. But yes, a little humble introduction about myself. I'm Bhavya, and I'm here to give you I wouldn't say an elaborate introduction to branding because this is a vast subject people study on and on to understand branding, to understand the market, and then write about it. So in 1 hour session, at least I'll do justice to help you understand what is branding, why you should go ahead with it, and what are the various strategies that you can bring in place where that can help you succeed in this digital age. So without much ado, I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation. The first thing that I want to show you is actually a video by IKEA. And as you can see the title, it says time is money. So is it a concept that IKEA came up with? Is it rhetoric or was that something that happened for real? So let's just check this video and devote 2 minutes of a time because that's going to help you understand different points I will make in the presentation. So I'm going to get started with the video. Let me know if it's audible.
Would you like to pay by cash, card, or by your time? Cash or time? Would you like to pay with time as well? At the moment, I can say that you have 2 hours, 35 minutes. Small items with my time. For this one item, sir, that's a total of 45 minutes. And those 3 items is a total of 1,800 dirhams. That on time, this on card. That's not bad. Would you like to have a blue bag? It's only 2 minutes of your time. 2 minutes, thank you. You got anything left over for me? Not ready.
So if you have noticed the entire video, you would see that the question mark that whether it was rhetoric or for real, we saw it that what IKEA did through this initiative of incentivizing people for the amount of time they spend on traveling to IKEA stores. They incentivize them to and give them some value for money that they have invested in coming to the stores. So it's IKEA in this video, as you see, is no more limited to just the products or the furniture that it offers. It's no more limited to the experience that it offers through its store, but rather it understood a major pain point of their customer, changed the entire theory about it, and then presenting time as money to them. This is a kind of initiative where you can see that the brand has not limited to selling only their products, but rather creating something more, that is creating somewhat of a value for customer. So if we go ahead and we want to understand what exactly is marketing at this age, this is nothing as marketing has got nothing to do with the stuff you make. Trust me on that. It has got more to do about the values that you bring on the table. I'm not saying that marketing, of course, you will not do to say sell your products or build the awareness around it and help your sales team with it. Of course, that's the end goal. But the market that you see outside has become so saturated that you have to come up with not just a product or a proposition, but values which is that are more than just being a product. The statement was made by Seth Godin. He has been an amazing marketer. If you follow him on LinkedIn, great. If you don't, you should follow him because he's got an amazing range of books. and I really follow him. I really love his ideologies. Now, going ahead with what exactly is a brand. So like I said, that it's not just about the entity that is present out there. Your brand is what other people say about you, about your company when you're not in the room. For example, we are discussing, I think, some 20, 30 audience we have currently at this session. Are we buying a furniture? No. What are we doing? We're discussing about branding, and what is the example that I gave to you, which is of IKEA. So that is the value that IKEA has created at this age, at this digital age. Even if you're not going to go to IKEA, say tomorrow in the Hyderabad store, but you're still talking about IKEA. That's a brand. That's something that you create, the identity of your company. That's the face of your company. Now, talking about or moving ahead with what exactly is branding, or say why branding is even needed for that matter. Like I already said, market is saturated. You are an entity, a company in the market. You have competitors only that you know of, and across the world there will be endless number of companies maybe offering the same thing that you offer. So why would your customers come to you and not to those brands? Why? Because that's the top of the mind recall that I have. If I want to order something right now, maybe my hand or my fingers will go to my phone and immediately I'll open Swiggy, say not Zomato, because that's the kind of experience I've had with Swiggy. That's the top of the mind recall that I have. So why do you do branding? Basically to create this recall in the head of your customers. Why? Because market is saturated. On an average, 1 minute, Google receives at least 4 million search queries. And that's the search queries that I'm talking about. For one single search query that you put on Google, you see all these blog posts, you see all these articles, blogs, white papers, videos, and whatnot across Facebook, across social media platforms. People are there to answer to your questions. Companies are there to offer their solutions to your products. But what is the problem here? The problem is the goldfish conundrum. Nobody in this digital age has an attention span more than 10 seconds. You come up with a video, trust me, if it's not interesting, your audience will not even devote 7 8 seconds on that. But if you have to make it interesting, then only it's going to be more than 10 15 seconds. This is the goldfish conundrum. So at this digital age, when the attention span is small, when there are so many startups out there, when there's so many companies out there, what do you need to do? You need to create value, and you need to take this value out to the market in terms of a nice branding strategy. This is what we will go to next. That now that you have understood what's a brand, what is branding, what exactly is a branding strategy. Your brand is not your product. It's not just your logo, your website, or your name. In fact, your brand is much more than that. What exactly it is? It's something that's intangible. You cannot measure it. When I say this, I do not mean that you do not have to come up with a logo or not take care of your brand name. These are the entities that that forms the smaller elements of the bigger picture that branding is, that brand strategy is. You need to create value. You need to create top of the mind recall. You need to take your brand out there as an entity, and logo, website, your name, your social media presence. These all are just enablers that help you do that. So let's dive deeper into what exactly is a brand strategy, or rather, what are the components that will make up for a brand strategy. As I go ahead, if you have any questions, feel free to post them on the chat platform or pass it on to Rajendra sir or the admins. I'll handle all the questions towards the end. Let me go on. And if still you have some question that you think will add to the greater benefit of everyone in the audience, then we can take it ahead. So let's get started to understand what exactly are these components that make up a comprehensive branding strategy. And why is it needed? Because you want a brand that's not going to stay limited to 3 or 4 months. You want a long-term success for your brand. Any company or any branding agency that reach out to you and tell you that we're going to revolutionize your brand in 2 or 3 months, trust me, they're just fooling you. It is impossible. It's impossible. It's an exercise that you do. It's an exercise just like breathing. You breathe in and breathe out your branding strategy. It's something that revolves around, your company's entire marketing policies, marketing strategies, everything revolves around your main branding focus. So what are these components? Let's look into each of them one by one. We understand, what are the components that will make up a comprehensive strategy. First thing first, purpose, your vision and mission of the company. Now, don't come with this line that, okay, the vision and mission of a company is I want to sell this product to this ABC segment, customer segment, and I want to earn money. That's a very functional approach to your brand. You gotta have a very intentional approach also, where you can go to the customer and say that, hey, I'm gonna offer you this phone, but there are other benefits that are not visible. Those are intangible that comes with this phone. So there are both the aspects. They're functional and then there's intentional. We saw the video of IKEA, and I think that is what I was arriving at that time, that through this video, you will understand that a brand should be ahead of its time. It should not just be about selling furniture. It should also have this emotional aspect. They understood a major pain point about their customer, that they're investing a lot of time to reach the store. They converted that to money, and that's how they brought value to their customers beyond the point of sale. So bring in both the elements, your functional, what are you selling, your intentional, combine them together, come up with a purpose statement. Next thing is consistency. If you will see in this entire presentation, I have used two color tones, which is black and orange. I could have used the whole bandwidth of colors from rainbow. I could have used every color possible, but this is also a strategy that I'm using here to help you recall this PPT even after 1 month. Now, after 1 month, you gotta go after and learn search about what exactly was taught or what was happening in this presentation. Trust me, black and orange will at least be at the top of your mind. Consistency is about creating a style guide. In a style guide, you talk about tone of voice. You can have audience in B2C, you can have audience in B2B. Now, both the audience kind of understands a different language. To a youngster, you will want to have something quirky. To B2B market, you want to sound savvy, professional, yet authentic and very, very articulate. So that's the tone of voice that you decide. Color scheme. Color scheme is something that will be synonymous to your brand logo, the colors that you have chosen to represent your brand. Product positioning. Your positioning cannot change every 1 month or 2 months. I've worked in my previous stints, I've seen the positioning has only evolved when the customer landscape and the segments have changed. So your tone of voice, your color schemes, and your positioning, these are the elements that make for a good style guide. Could be brand style guide, could be content editorial style guides. They help in increasing the brand recognition that further fuels customer loyalty. Now, going ahead about emotional aspects, of course, your customers are not always be practical about buying a product from you. They will also be rational. They will also be emotional, not just rational. And when they are emotional, you know that you can tap into those feelings to convey the value propositions that your brand has. One of the great examples that I can quote here is that of Harley Davidson. So what Harley Davidson does is, it has a community of only owners of Harley Davidson bikes. So what happens when you're part of that community and you interact with other bikers, then you get to see that, wow, I'm a part of a privileged or, entitled community. This is the kind of feeling that fosters in the audience or customer segment of Harley Davidson. And this is the emotional aspect that I'm talking about. When you're coming up with a brand strategy, always think along purpose, consistency, and emotional aspects that can appeal to your customers and the customer segment. Next is about flexibility. Don't take it as the polar opposite side to consistency. Consistency is about your style guides. Consistency is about your product positioning. Flexibility is about doing your research and coming up with elements that can make your brand or branding strategy very vibrant. You got to be very fresh. You got to be very creative. You got to see how your competitors are doing in the market. When you see that and you see that you are using something which is very old and archaic, then what do? We come up with a new strategy, but we don't change the tone of voice. We don't change our color tones. We don't change our positioning. Rather, we come up with interesting campaigns. For that matter, if I happen to talk about Nike, okay, Nike as a brand, it says just do it. None of the advertisements of Nike, you will ever see them selling something. They never sell anything. It's always, they never show their shoes, in the prominent highlight, or never do that. It's always about enabling, emotional aspects of their audience. But every time they come up with, different sort of videos, different sort of campaigns. Once they targeted women, they were like, women of all shapes and sizes can do everything, all sort of sports. That's the kind of flexibility I'm talking about. You got to be flexible in terms of your brand campaigns, but you not be flexible in terms of consistency when it comes to brand tonality. I hope the audience that we have here, they understand all these language and marketing jargons that I'm using. If you don't, feel free to ask them later, because I'm assuming that all of you are entrepreneurs and people who are interested in marketing and are in the field of marketing. The next thing is employee involvement. Why do you need to involve your employee? Because if you happen to start, speaking to your audience in a certain tone of voice, and your employee are, giving a different sort of pitch, that's not happening. You got to have a comprehensive branding strategy across your company. On top of that, employee involvement is always very good way to uh, give a message out in the audience that, hey, it's not just our customer that we value, it's our employees also. Most recently on LinkedIn, you saw that, LinkedIn, you saw that there was this auto wala who updated that I have started driving for ABC company, and it's a new job update that it did. Now that ABC company came back to LinkedIn and started celebrating that, wow, our auto wala has, updated his LinkedIn profile. And it's amazing to see how people have started taking their employees in the forefront of social media. So it do involve your employees. Next element, the penultimate element is loyalty. Now, when you have noticed that your brand, your customers love your brand, they have started, valuing your products. They have become your brand advocates. Don't just leave your audience then and there. Do bring them into your branding strategy. Have a branding campaign around your customers, so that you can speak about this loyalty, and then give out this message that we have customers who love our brand. The last but not the least is competitive awareness. This is something I've mentioned in the end, but trust me, it's one of the most important things that each of us marketers, when we come up with a brand strategy plan, this is the exercise that we do the very first. We go out and see that what is the tone of voice our competitors are using, what sort of strategy they have for social media, what sort of branding campaigns they are coming up with. Because we don't want to come up with the same thing, but at the same time, we want to be sounding as competitive as possible. There's a very famous branding video by Jaguar where they have taken a case on Volvo. It's available on YouTube. You can definitely watch it, and you can see that how competitive awareness can help you come up with even a more evolved branding strategy. So these are the core elements that you see that you want to have inbuilt in your overall strategy plan, and they will ensure that you have a long-term success, not just a brand entity that exists for 2 or 3 months, but these are the elements that are going to guarantee that you have a long-lasting impression on your customers over a period of time. Now that I've spoken a lot about these components and branding strategy, let's go ahead and see that what exactly a strategy is, so that we can see that how do we fit in these elements into those strategies. Am I clear? Am I audible? Is there anything anyone wants to ask now?
How to make employee involvement like in the branding?
Employee involvement. All right. Rajendra sir, this question is going to come. I'm going to answer this question towards the end, where I will talk about the best practices.
Fine.
We get to see. For now, just let's just focus on these elements, so we know that they make up for a good strategy.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and So once you bring these components into your brand strategy, you will end up having a brand loyalty, recognition, equity, and awareness. These are the things. That is why I was emphasizing a lot about these components. I did not get started with directly putting strategies on your face. If you open Google right now, you will see that there are a lot of plethora of frameworks that exist on Google. Every framework is as uncanny as the other. It will only confuse you, because more or less they revolve around these elements only. They revolve around these elements. They revolve around the best practices, but just tweak a framework a little, and you get a new framework. So I'm not going to bore you with these frameworks. The most important aspect of today's session is to help you understand why do you want to do these exercises, and few best practices that we can discuss. So once you have brought in these elements that we just discussed into your branding strategy, you end up with a great brand loyalty, great brand recognition, a very high brand equity and awareness. A lot of you must be thinking, what exactly is equity? So brand equity is something more or less, see, the social impact or the social recognition that you get in the market. A lot of people still in this era of IKEA, Pepperfry will still go and buy a plastic chair by Neil Kamal. Do you see a lot of advertisements or branding videos by Neil Kamal? No. Why? Because that's the kind of equity they bring in. Once you have a very high brand equity, you will start getting customers.
I think Karthik, she got power problem. I think she lost the power. She got a electrical problem, I think. Karthik? Yeah.
Yes, sir. I will wait, sir.
Yeah. It seems they have a power problem. And the speaker
Power.
side.
I'll
Rajendra, you give a call to her and ask her. Why don't you talk to her once?
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah.
So sorry, I just had a power cut at my place and I've shifted to Bangalore. I'm going to continue with the presentation, sir.
Yeah, you can do that, ma'am. I think you can ask Karthik to share the screen so that I already forwarded to him. You give a few minutes to him, he will share the screen and you can speak on the phone.
No, I have the phone connection. I have the bandwidth from my phone. I've shared the screen, sir. I will go ahead with this.
Fine.
Yeah. Now, speaking about brand equity, like I said, that is the social impression that you have and you have created in the market that exists for ages. Even when you stop doing any marketing activity, even when your sales team is dead, let's say that, even then customers will reach out to you. That's the power of brand equity and awareness. So let's get going and we will move to the next part. So let me come here. So these are some of the strategies that exist out there and have been tried and tested and have been successful, even at this age of digital presence. First is personal branding. Now, a lot of companies or a lot of you might have a great outreach. You are known, people respect you. And now that you start a company, trust me that people will not even know about your company and they'll come to your social media page and start following you and following your company. This is the power of personal branding. On the left side, you can see Seth Godin. He has come up with, say, 20 books on marketing, which have been bestseller. There are a lot of companies, the likes of Tata, Aditya Birla, who directly reach out to Seth Godin, rather than reaching out to famous branding agencies, because that's the power of his own personal brand that he has created. And again, talking about personal branding, when you go about personal branding, you do not limit yourself to to a company's entity. You rather not even talk about it. It's about your own personal character, your own likes and dislikes. What are your own ideologies? Where do you stand? Another great example that I can give to you, if any one of you is very active on LinkedIn, you will find that one of the ISB alums, Ankur Wariku, he has come up with this whole concept in India, and he has done immense amount of personal branding. And he started a startup. He sold that startup to some other VC. Then he's coming up with another startup. People don't even know what that startup is about, but they're still talking about Ankur Wariku's new startup. That's the power of personal branding. Now coming to the question of or the point of employee branding, which Rajendra sir was asking. So it's treating your employee not just as a resource, but as an asset by valuing their belief systems, by valuing about what they do in their daily community. Is there a lady who's working at night? What are her belief systems? Basically, you give importance to your employees. You learn about their belief system. you see that they are not just a resource, but they're proven to be assets for your company. And then you come up with brand campaigns around these employees and take it to market. Why do we do that? Reason being, you give out a message wide and clear to your audience that we stand as a company who matters, for whom employees matter a lot. And when employees matter a lot, then you can think about that how much customers matter to us. So this is a very strong, thing that's happening on LinkedIn also. If you see a company, a new functional head joins a company, and you see that the functional head is coming from a very amazing background, say McKinsey. Now, these companies do a branding around them that a person with such and such background, work experience has joined this company, and they bring such and such experience. In that way, you are kind of signaling to the market that your company is going on the right track. Your company is going towards the right track because such people with prolific profiles are joining our company. So you do employ branding around that. There's another on the left side that you see, there's a better living video by Walmart. In this video, they see that what are the initiatives they are taking within the company to make the lives of their employees better. So these initiatives are taken by a lot of companies. Now I'll throw a very important point here, that when you talk about widespread, widespread campaigns, they require a huge budget. That is why you will see companies such as P&G, Walmart, Tata and Mahindra, the likes of these big size companies, they come up with such heavy campaigns. But that doesn't mean that small startups or early stage startups or mid-sized companies cannot do that. They can definitely do that. Kudos to LinkedIn, kudos to social media. You can just come up with a small video, make it interactive so your audience, your followers are enticed by it. You don't have to always invest a huge marketing budget to do some sort of branding around your employee, or for that matter, your company itself. Next is corporate branding. This is another strategy that you can do. Corporate branding would be more about the core value of business and a philosophy that your business follows. On the left side, you see another example by P&G, which says future friendly. Now there's a growing awareness among people to use organic products. The people around the world, they are become very sensitive to the feelings of any damage done to animals or any damage done to nature. In that case, P&G knew that it's a consumer, a CPG company. In that case, what will happen? People will not even reach out to them to buy a soap that they have been selling for ages. So they came up with a video around, their own corporate culture and value system, that we as a brand, we care for nature. We care for nature. That is why you don't have to worry about just using organic products. It's a sort of initiative that P&G started. Next is co-branding. What exactly, as the name is suggesting, you do co-branding. You basically bring another entity to, to brand yourself. For example, let's say HMA in that matter, and they bringing me to the platform here. HMA is coming up with wonderful initiatives, and they brought me as an external agency here. And together, when I was promoting this event or workshop on my LinkedIn channel, and HMA was also doing the same thing. We were doing nothing but co-branding. We were branding, we were tapping into each other's audience space. So HMA's audience can know that there exists a professional out there who can talk on and on about marketing. And I know that their HMA has a huge audience base of interested people, entrepreneurs, and young, early stage startup founders. They want to learn something about marketing. So that way, what happens? We can both, as an entity, create impact. This is the power of co-branding. You got to choose not your competitor for this, of course. Needless to say, you choose basically an enabler of your company. Say you sell bed sheets, now you bring some another entity or another, handmade products entity or another company that sells handmade products, and then you bring together and then co-brand it together, that we make bed sheets and these artisans help us, in coming up with block printed bed sheets for that matter. Why I'm using the example of bed sheet? Because there's a bed sheet right in front of me. Jokes apart, these are the 3-4 strategies that you can definitely use, starting with personal branding, corporate branding, employee branding, in the order of how it is mentioned. And then you go towards co-branding. And last but not the least, this is the most effective one in my experience. This is what I've seen. This is called advocacy-led branding. Now, the other forms of branding that we just saw all these branding tactics or strategies that we have seen. You do this through your own media, the website that you have, the social media channels that you have. You kind of have these channels, you maintain these channels. You have followers, on these channels who are following you because they know that you own this website. That is why it's called owned media. But this is the kind of branding that you don't even have to try. This is called advocacy-led branding. Your customer is happy with you. They speak highly about you in their own social media channels, in their own website, and that is where you win over anything else. Why would your customer, why would your customer not care for your brand when they see that the other customers are so happy? That is why I say that it's a very effective form of branding. You see that there's a company called Drift, and one of Drift's client here has won an opportunity or has signed a deal with one Fortune 100 company, and Drift has helped the company do that. So they posted this chart on their LinkedIn, on their Twitter, and you see that there's 6 retweets, 35 people liking. It's a sort of branding that Drift did not go for, but its audience is liking it, right? So this is advocacy-led branding, and trust me, if you come to this stage, you are doing great in terms of your product delivery and customer service. So when you have taken care of all the other aspects of marketing, that is where this aspect comes into the picture. You cannot force. A lot of companies ask to give feedback, to share testimonials, let us know how your experience is. They do not understand that it gets irritating for the audience. You can't keep asking. You of course have to ask, but you can't keep asking. But when you get to see such advocacy, which you didn't even try for, that's the best sort of branding out there. We will go ahead and see that, okay, now that you have seen all these branding tactics, which one supports you, which one do you need to start with, depending on what sort of company you are. Is it B2C, is it B2B, what stage of startup you are? Is it an early stage startup, it's a mid-sized company, or it's a large organization? Depending on various parameters, depending on where do you stand in your company, does your customer even know about your brand? Do they even know that there are other competitors of yours in the market? Depending on a lot of other parameters and factors, you kind of pick one of these elements and get started with. If it's a huge company, they do all of that. They do all of that because they have the budget for it. But if you are a startup or a company which is a small size company, in that case, you can't get started with everything. So you got to answer these questions to yourself and see that, what are my company's mission and core values? Does my audience even know about it? If I had to describe my company in 3 words, what would these 3 words be? Does my, these 3 words help customer recognize or recall about my brand more easily? Where do I, stand in the marketplace? If there's a competitor that I know I have in the market, what is its brand equity? Where exactly my brand equity lie? Where do I stand in the marketplace? What kind of difference do I make, or what kind of difference do I have to make to to create an impact in the industry? What do I want to what do I want my brand to look like visually? These questions, when you answer these questions, when you have sorted the answer for, then you decide that, okay, this is going to be my style guide, this is going to be my content editorial guide, this is going to be the vision of my company, and I'm going to start with a simple awareness campaign to let my audience know about my vision. Does my audience recognize a logo? No. Then I will launch a brand campaign where I just keep mentioning or putting my new logos up. There are a lot of things that you need to sort out before even picking a strategy. So these are few questions. Now again, as I was speaking about various frameworks, if you Google branding best practices and frameworks, you will get to see a lot of frameworks. Don't get confused. Just pick one, because that will help you resolve a lot of these queries. That will help you define your brand identity. That will help you put in place what are your objectives. When I say objectives, do not limit yourself to saying that I want to sell a cell phone or a bed sheet or a furniture. These are not your objectives. Your objectives would be, I want to sell this phone to this segment of the market to make their life easier in ABC ways. This is your objective. These are your core values. Then you identify who is your core audience and do they understand about these values? If not, then what sort of branding strategy should I take? Is this industry where I am present? Are there similar campaigns that exist? If those similar campaigns exist, then what do I do differently so my branding strategy stands out different? So these questions will help you come up with the best branding strategies. Now, once you have, say, finalized the branding strategy, you put those components that we discussed, the 7 components, into those strategies, and then you keep iterating and seeing what is working out best or not. We will go ahead and see that there are 3 best practices for building your brand in this digital era. Of course, there are plethora of tactics, plethora of marketing best practices that have existed over the period of time. But these three practices have been, I can't tell you, the most impactful currently. Everywhere, every company that's making an impact, if you see, they are doing this. First thing first, thought leadership. What exactly is thought leadership? I don't know how many people or how many of you have already touched base on this, but it has got less to do with selling your products, or in fact, even talking about your products. It has got more to do about enabling or making the customer's life more easy without having to sell the product. On the left side, you see the example of Think with Google. So we all know that Google sells out a lot of marketing analytics and automation, solutions and software to the market. A lot of marketers are using Google Analytics, Google search ads, Google display ads, programmatic ads to put their advertisements out there. But even to a customer like me who's not using the Google software or a tool right now, what exactly Google do to build this thought leadership? They have an initiative called Think with Google. You go there today, you subscribe to that channel, and every day they send you articles and white papers and blogs that will help you learn about marketing on daily basis. And in those articles and papers, you will never see Google, selling their products upfront. They just enable you to learn more about marketing. So you become a better marketer by the day, by the minute. That's the kind of thought leadership that Google is bringing. A lot of companies, if you open their website, you will see the resources sections. And then you see a lot of blogs and articles that help you understand about market and landscape in a much better way. Are they selling their products upfront? No, but they are enabling you. So now what happens when you see that they are become more of an enabler, you start associating more with the brand, and you start using those articles and white papers again and again. And the companies do this with this hope that next time when you want to buy a product or a solution, you will come to Google, you will come to that company, because now that you have used those resources, you understand the value that they create. Next best practice is called movement branding. It's more or less around the element that you need to humanize your brand. What do we mean by humanizing your brand? Now, your brand could be selling a manufacturing product, a drilling machine, a tube light, or anything. But when you bring human elements into your brand, that taps into the emotional side of your customer. Now, I'm going to give something to you right here, which is not there in the PPT. This is called long-term encoding. Long-term encoding is has got nothing to do with this, what you write or what you do or your strategy. It's a very scientific term. You as a human being, me as a human being, when we see or like something, it kind of intrigues us. It taps on our emotional level, the serotonin level of our human brain. It goes up. That is where a moment is created, and then you see that, oh, I love this brand. Now you get along with your life, you do whatever you want to do. But next time when you want to buy a product, you will always think about this brand. Why? Because they kind of emotionally tap into your human element or your emotional element. This is a company called Strawberry Frog that you see on the left side. What Strawberry Frog normally does is they come up with this movement marketing campaigns. You go and check out strawberryfrog.com today. It's a New York-based branding agency. You see here examples by SunTrust, Mahindra, Emirates, Walmart, Northwell. They all have come up with this humanized branding campaigns, and they were all done by Strawberry Frog, amazing company that they help you activate your brand purpose. So this is one of the strategies. Having said that, you don't always have to bring an external agency or outsource these strategies. You can always have an in-house marketer. You can always have an in-house a digital marketing person or someone who has done branding before, because they will help you tap into your vision, your purpose, and bring those elements throughout to the market through movement marketing. So these are two tactics. And the next one is the final one. It's called, so what you see here, we normally in marketing terms, we call it customer funnel. Okay. There's an awareness stage, there's a consideration stage, there's a purchase and advocacy stage. Now, consumer decision-making process overview, what we are doing here. Now, when you build a branding plan or you come up with a strategy, you kind of see that where do you lie in this funnel currently? When I say where do you lie, that means which part of this customer funnel is your objective in this quarter or next 6 months. I'm going to join a startup next month as VP of marketing. And I understand that that company in the edtech sector doesn't have a lot of brand recognition outside in India. So they are basically on the awareness stage. So my job as a marketer in that company as VP of marketing would be to come up with branding campaigns that will help me increase the awareness of the company, that will help me take out those values, those visions of the company out in the market and help people see that this is what we stand for. Am I selling a product there? No. But when I will evolve into that company, when the company will evolve eventually, we might go to say advocacy stage. We might reach to the last stage, and then we will have a lot of case studies. We will have a lot of customers speaking highly about us, hopefully. Then they speak highly about us, then we can come up with a branding campaign that revolves around customer. Having said that, you don't have to be limited to one stage at a time. You can do it all parallelly, all good if you have the marketing budget for it. But if you don't have the marketing budget for it, trust me, this CDJ approach really helps you do one thing at a time, hone it, and then go and advance as your startup, as your company evolves in the market. So these are a few strategies and tactics that really helps you take out your branding, your brand as an entity out in the market. We learned about the components that you can put in your strategy. We learned about a lot of tactics that can help you do a better marketing, say corporate branding or employee branding or personal branding. Now, these are a few other tactics, or I would say, styles of branding that you can do. It could be thought leadership, you helping your customer without even selling something. You emerging as a humanized brand, so your customers connect with your brand emotionally. And last but not the least, CDJ, because that gives a structure to your branding strategy or approach. These were the strategies. These were the pointers that I wanted to put forward. And I always end my sessions and webinars with always some book recommendations. There are a lot of articles out there in Google. You do not have to read a book, but these books have been written by some really great marketing focused or people with a marketing bent of mind who have been great brand marketers. The first is Smart Persuasion. Second is Identity Design. The third is Designing Brand Identity. These three books help you get started understanding more about branding and different elements that we can't capture in 1 hour session. These books will really help you evolve the branding of your company. If you don't want to buy a book, you're not a reader, you can just go and subscribe to a few channels out there in Google and learn more about branding. That's all. And if there are any questions, I'm ready to take it up.
Yeah, I think right now there are no questions from chat box, but I have some questions for you. How to sustain the brand image and perception, the corporate branding is taking place, but you got to sustain for some period. So what steps you got to take by the corporate? And how to make employees involved in the particular brand values and perception?
Are these two different questions, Rajan sir? Because that's what I'm giving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first thing is sustainable brand image. And I think that's how I started the whole PPT with. You got to have a editorial style guide. You got to have a brand entity, a brand guide. Why? Because these help you set few elements of your company in place. You can't keep changing them because that's not something which is sustainable. So in order to create a sustainable impression in the market, you have to have a strategy that works out for some 2 or 3 months at least. You can't say that we have a campaign running for 1 month and the impact would be everlasting. No. But if you have a campaign that's running for some considerable amount of time, you see that people have started liking the idea, they're getting more involved by the day. This is how you will create an impression in the mind of your consumers that is going to be everlasting. So don't change your color tones, don't change your icon every day or change your brand name every day, but always have a flexible bent of mind also. Tap into your audience or tap into your competitors landscape, see what are the best practices they are doing, keep yourself competitive, keep your branding strategy vibrant, but don't change it regularly. That's how you will create a more sustainable branding strategy. And the second question was, Rajendra sir?
Yeah. How to involve the employees into these values of the brand. Like, customers know the value, but we take a lot of various people from various brand, but we have to train them to the values of the corporate brand is fixed it. For example, Infosys, they talk more on the quality, delivery, and integrity and all. These things to be embedded into the employees, all the employees from bottom to top. How to do that? Is it HR practice got to be involved in anything, or market branding people will be doing some role in there?
Absolutely. So Infosys has a certain say value system. So would your company will have a certain value system. Now, what we can do, and in fact, a lot of companies are doing out there, is have an internal channel in your company where employees can come talk freely about it. You have sessions for your internal employees where you talk about these value systems to them.
Yeah.
Now, don't make it boring. Make it a good exercise so that they can partake and learn or get some good takeaways from those sessions. You're going to do this not time and again, but say eventually over a period of time, so they understand that these value systems that Infosys is selling out to their customers should also be imbibed in us. It grows into them, they start behaving like that. This is something that you can do. Have more internal channels, maybe not channel or a media, but maybe say through email marketing, you can do that. So in my current company, this is what we do. We have sessions for internal employees where we bring them. It's called a chat with the co-founder of the company. In that chat platform, they come up with these questions and ask about, okay, why is this product evolving this way? Then the CEO or CFO comes, CTO comes and tell them that this is what we stand for and this is how the product is evolving. So you can have your own internal chat systems, and that's where you can build this values in your employees.
Yeah. Then probably in the orientation and induction time, they got to give rigorous training for the values so that the employees will be clear about the corporate values, and then they will try to be in the guidelines. Probably that should be the Achha, ma'am. Now there is a like Facebook. Earlier it's gone identified Facebook a F-like thing. Now they changed the version technology to Metaverse. Now is not a risk for changing the name from Facebook to Metaverse and the brand image and that thing?
I did not. The voice is not clear, Rajan sir. I couldn't hear it.
Okay. Now it's okay. Yeah. Like any company when they're changing the product or image, the brand, like they are already established. For example, Facebook has got a brand, and they had that F like symbol, and then it's a social media. It's globally well known. Recently, they changed the concept to a metaverse application, and they changed the new symbol as such. It will not impact their marketing or any other thing in the branding when they change it like that.
Absolutely, it's going to impact, and if not negatively, it's going to impact positively. But we also need to see, sir, here that where exactly Facebook came up with this concept of metaverse. Did they do it, say, initial first 2 years or 5 years, even 10 years of Facebook? No. 10 and 15 years of Facebook that I know of, I do not see them changing logo or their name or anything. This is happening exactly when they know that they have built an audience base, and this audience is not going to leave them anytime soon, even if they change the name of the company, the logo of the company. This is what I was talking about, creating a sustainable brand. You have onboarded such a clientele, you have expanded your customer segment to such heights that that now whatever concept you come up with, as revolutionary as it can be, they are not going to leave your platform. Rather, they will adapt more into it. So you have to see that these concepts will, of course, affect Facebook's branding. But in my case, I think, in my personal opinion, I think it's going to impact only positively. These audiences who use Facebook are not going anywhere. They will only try using metaverse more and more by the day.
Okay, yeah. One question from the chat box. from Siddharth Kamisetti. He's saying, good evening, ma'am. I'm Siddharth Kamisetti, MBA student from Ananta Lakshmi College. Ma'am, can I take a marketing as specialization along with the finance in second year? Will it help me to gain jobs in companies, ma'am? I think employment point of view is asking.
So employment point of view, I do not know if you put together marketing and finance is going to help you in terms of, I mean, I would rather say that you have to pick one. It's not marketing and strategy or leadership. It's not marketing and digital marketing or something that goes with marketing or even sales for that matter. Marketing and finance, these are two different functions. You got to hone one very properly to not just land a job, but excel in it. Finance, for that matter, I really think is a very interesting domain to be in. So if you want to do majors in finance, do it nicely, but for the sake of knowledge. If you're more interested in marketing, then devote a lot of time outside even your curriculum to learn more about the recent tactics of marketing, how digital marketing is evolving, what is performance marketing, what is growth marketing. Learn about these elements because that will help you land a better job. In terms of landing, in terms of employment landscape, there are a lot of job postings about digital marketer. There are a lot of people, are very, very interested in hiring performance marketers, growth marketers. So learn these things because I understand that our curriculum in India is not very well suited to, make you understand these things. So go ahead, learn these concepts that will help you land a job, but do majors in finance out of sheer interest. But you have to go to finance, then do the vice versa of what I've suggested.
Yeah, I think, very green. Yeah. What? Thank you, I think. Ma'am, I think I have one question last. Generally, these MSMEs and startups, if they want to go for this, initially they have to spend some money on this brand building up, logo building up, and promotion and maintenance part of it. Generally, what should be the budget? If it is 100 rupees is the total project cost, what should be the share of this brand promotion and they should invest it so that it will be a good marketing and a good launching can take place for them.
Yes, I think Rajesh sir, we need to see here that again the CDJ approach that I said. You never had a say a fixed budget for marketing as marketers, or say a VP of marketing or CMO for that matter. You will have an overall budget. Then you need to see that where exactly or what elements you want to focus on the CDJ. Is it awareness? Then you know clearly that okay, there are people out there, they don't know about your brand, they don't know what you do. So you got to devote a lot of money, a significant portion of your budget on doing awareness in coming up with brand awareness campaigns. That's the kind of strategy you can take. Otherwise, let's say it's an evolved company. Even though it's a mid-sized company, it's an evolved one, and you already have a clientele. You have a good, a decent set of customers who are ready to give you, who are ready to become advocates of your brand. In that case, you allocate a major chunk of your budget for coming up with case studies because you want to bring in more customers. If you have more customers and you want to retain them, then you come up with, or put more money on employee branding or say purpose or movement driven branding because you don't want to lose those customers. So that's how you allocate your budget. Not talking about the money. I don't know how much budget whoever has posted the company has it, but there are two options. Either you can have in-house capability or you can outsource these, branding projects to other companies, branding agencies. You can do that. Branding agencies normally will do the task very nicely, very proficiently, will take a lot of money. If you build it in-house, you will have to, given a lot of efforts to that. Money, of course, will be lesser than the branding agency.
Okay, yeah. Because a lot of MSMEs, nowadays, because of digital era, they got to go for web designing. Earlier, they used to go for brochures and all. Now they just can stop it. They can go for web designing and they can get a good market even to their website and the email marketing and all. It hardly takes much money. Only the web maintenance, web development, and this needs certain money. Later on in social media, they got to do because of developing more network for their product and services, especially I'm talking about small MSMEs, micro and small and medium scale people, if they want to come up in this.
There's another point that I would want to add here, which I have not added. You need to also see that where exactly your audience lie, in which channel they are more prominent, where they're active. If you're an MSME and you see that your customers are not even, that socially aware or not present online, they're not coming to your website, then you might want to spend more money in offline branding activities rather than going online. You don't have to do what everyone or other companies are doing. Rather, you need to understand that where exactly your audience lie, what do they do, what do they like, and then what sort of branding would help me tap into their emotions and attention.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think there are no more questions, ma'am. I think I will pass it on to our international desk convener, Sri Shankar Venkatakrishna Prasad Garu, to give his closing comments and a vote of thanks to our speaker, Shankar Prasad Garu. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Bhavya Pathakji, good evening. It's been an excellent deliverance by you. The Indian School of Business has showed in that, in your presentation. So it's really great. And branding certainly is a very, key subject for all of us in this century, even pre and post COVID situation. A lot of things have gone virtual. It's the Facebooks that have carried the news. It's the LinkedIns, the Twitters and whatnot, Instagrams helping us. It's a really great subject that you took up today. Thanks to the YouTube, even if some people have missed this, they would always see the entire recording and your deliverance here. New age branding is the subject that you took, and creating the face of your business is a very important thing. As we were discussing about, Facebook in terms of how the people really interact. Even you have a lot of branding happening for individuals, the so-called corporate branding, individual branding you talked about through Facebook, Twitter, and all that. And in terms of digital trends, we have seen across. I mean, there are many academicians here. We have our MDP coordinator, Dr. Renuka Sagarji, and many students from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management here, apart from other attendees, including the president, HMA. We all have been using this, for our own branding, HMA branding. We have our own social media pages and all that. But as you very distinctly said that there is quite a difference between branding and then marketing, when it comes to various points. And as you said very rightly, whatever you bring to the table in terms of the value, that actually gets you the brand name, And you were cautioned that brand name should not be changed very frequently is very well taken, And when it comes to Mark Zuckerberg, everybody knows F stands for Facebook, but then later on when he called it as metaverse, it hardly mattered for us, So that's how the brand actually has been built. I happen to actually work in an engineering company by name Usha, where Usha brand fuel injection equipment and fans were manufactured. Across the country, Usha as a brand for fan is established. Similarly, so many other companies have their own brands, Crompton Reeves themselves. So your discussion about certain proven tools for the marketing in terms of keeping in mind the branding in view are very, very pertinent here. And what I felt was that, as you said very rightly, reputation of an organization, corporate or an individual, brings the the brand value that comes in. So I think you said very rightly, in this century, in this time of digital age, the attention span of everybody is less than 10 seconds is a huge challenge for us when it comes to branding. So unless you have a brand which is established, it's very difficult that your product may be sold or your service may be sold. That's so very clear. And your comprehensive coverage of 7 components of branding strategies in terms of brand loyalty, recognition, equity, and awareness are very, very important. Just because you have a logo, you can't expect people to come and then buy your product. You have to advertise it in a positive way. Selling something is one, and post-sales service, after-sales service is another. These are all the things which actually contribute to your brand tomorrow for you to stand up there. And the specific strategies that you covered are very, very praiseworthy and notable for all the students of business, not just from Symbiosis. Whoever is a student here, all of us are also anyway, should keep that in mind, that at each of our level, we make a personal brand and then we advertise. Similarly, as an employee, you need to make actually an effort to make a brand of yourself. You are in the sales department, purchase, or whatever. in whatever department you are, make a brand of yourself. Oh, so-and-so is great. What I'm saying is when you go for the next level of employment somewhere for a higher position and a higher function, your personal branding actually matters there. And corporate branding, I talk less about it, but today we are all aware of what all things happen in the industry in terms of brands. Ambani's, Adani's, Tata's, Birla's, these are all the brand names. Okay. And very greatly, what I found, Bhavya ji, was most of these business houses, including at the international level, are family managed businesses. So the family name becomes a brand. The Tata's is a brand, the Birla's is a brand. Okay. So they're so very right. And when it comes to, yeah, you are advertising in Twitter on your today evening stock, and then HMI is also parallelly doing it. And somewhere somebody is actually sharing your talk on their, timeline. A co-branding also is happening. So that's very well said. And I think nowadays the branding is much easier because of the presence of social media. Unlike in the past, okay, when you used to reach out with handouts or probably send somebody or advertise somewhere or probably have an auditorium, a program done. Now you put in the Facebook, across the world, everybody gets to seconds. The greatest part about it. And the 3 best practices you talked about for building brand is very, very important. With the time that is there on our table now, I think it's time for us to conclude. I would only say one thing, Bhavya Pathakji, you have brought the real branding, the brand of the branding into this talk today. I hope all of the people who have participated here, I thank everyone who have spared their time, including our Honorable President, Kavita Rajeshji, our convener, Rajendra Krishna Prasad Garu, who has been toiling. I think every second day he has got a lecture. I don't know how he works hard to put so many lectures around. That's good actually, because we are using the virtual platform. It's a great blessing and disguise for us to go virtual in all these things. I thank everyone here, Dr. Renuka Sagarji, our MDP convener, Geeta Mallikarjunanji, and Karthik, who has been giving us help, and Jayavant Naiduji, who has come earlier. I could see him actually. Right now, I don't get to see him here. And then many others. A lot of people have joined with the link HMA. I'm sorry, I couldn't name you because you should have renamed yourself. My request is anytime you come in with this link, kindly soon after you come in, just rename yourself. That's about it. I thank also our Honorary Secretary, Dr. Ravi Kumar Jain, who was supposed to do the word of thanks today, but he is preoccupied somewhere. So he requested me. I said, definitely, sir, I'll be a part of it. So our Vice President Ramchandra Garu, I think today he is not present here. Otherwise, we have a great team here in HMI. And Bhavya Pathakji, congratulations. You've done a fantastic, show today. And then it's very informative and you are fresh from ISB. So you can give us, many more thoughts. So with this, there are in fact students of various colleges here. Please think about it. Make your own personal brand. Get a good brand name for your college where you're studying, as also to an employer tomorrow when you get into it. Thank you very much. That's all with me. Over to the convener.
Thank you so much. So everyone who has attended the session, if you still have questions, you can reach out to me through LinkedIn. Post your queries and I will definitely try to answer them.
Bhavya ji, somebody in the chat box actually asked if you can share the PPT of today.
Yeah.
So we can share it to Rajendra, then we can in turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll do that. Thank you, Bhavya ji. Thank you very much. And thank you, Prasad Garu. And we call it a day. Karthik?
Karthik, go ahead. Yeah. Just before we close, ma'am, Hyderabad Management Association is a 57-year-old organization. We have various memberships across, and I would request everyone who is here, who is not a member of HMA, to be a part of Hyderabad Management Association. You can be a student member if you're a student. You can be a corporate member if you're a corporate. If you can be an institutional member if you belong to an institution.
Professional.
You can also be an individual life member if you are 50 years plus. Okay. So please avail the advantage of HMA membership. HMA does, as our president has said in the beginning, faculty development programs, management development programs, student development programs, and interactive management lectures, apart from awards that HMA gives. We are likely to actually, stage one awards function sometime in this month end or the next month, possibly. And we are expecting one of the senior government ministers to come in and then be the chief guest here. So those of you who think about HMA, please give a thought to it. All these awards are free in the sense that there is no price tag to it. It is only the managerial talent that is tagged to it. Okay. So there are 11 categories of awards that Hyderabad Management Association gives. Please take advantage of it. be a member of HMA and enjoy yourself in the management. Thank you.
Yeah,
Karthik.
thank you, Karthik. Yeah.
Karthik normally does this countdown, right? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karthik. Can somebody call Karthik?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I think he's shutting it down.
Sir, can I close the meeting?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah.